This is Pluto, and this is my game I made for the Ludum Dare 52 Game Jam. Now in a game jam, in case you've never competed in one, your goal is to make a game based around a theme and you typically only have a very short amount of time. For this jam, I only had 48 hours to make my game and it was going to have to be based around a theme voted on by the Ludum Dare community itself, which is something I just fundamentally love about the Ludum Dare Game Jam. Voting like this really sets the tone that this is less of a competition and much more of a community event focused around sharing and celebrating the joy of making games. Now I've been reading through the Red Rising series by Pierce Brown, which is an incredible science fiction series based on our solar system after humanity has colonized all of the planets. And as such, I really wanted to make a game based around our solar system. And not only did I include Pluto, but I made it the most valuable planet in the solar system. But more on that later. Let's switch back to a little bit before the jam started. The theme ended up being Harvest. Now that's a theme I admittedly didn't like very much, and frankly, I didn't vote for myself. So I spent the first few hours tossing ideas around, trying not to be too attached to any single idea or topic. But I couldn't quite shake this desire to make a solar system based game. I had a few ideas for like a space idle game or maybe a card game, but I've done a bunch of weekend long game jams before, and one of the most important tips I can give anyone is to pick a very small and narrow idea and focus on doing one thing really well. With that in mind, I decided to make an arcade-style game where the player would have 2 minutes to deliver as many asteroids to the various planets by flinging them from the belt. Now, the challenge would be that the asteroids would have to arrive at a safe speed to earn points. If they were too fast, the player would lose points, deal damage to the planet, and possibly make the planet explode. With the idea finally picked, the next step was to scope out the game by listing all of the various things I wanted to add into my game. And at this step, I really let my brain run wild and put anything I could think about onto that list. After that, I went back through the list and moved any non-essential ideas to a potential scope creep list. To keep things even simpler, I decided not to mess with gravity or anything to do with orbital mechanics, and that was a very good idea in retrospect. For the rest of Friday night, I got the basic prototype put together with an asteroid flinging mechanic and the solar system set up. For the art style, I went with a minimalistic solar system, and I was able to quickly find this nice little color palette over on low spec. Now, I need to get something off my chest. I am a man of science, and as such, going into this jam, I did not think that Pluto was a planet. There. I said it. All right, I said it. I didn't think it was a planet, but I'm also a man of democracy, and as such, I let my chat over on Twitch vote if I should put Pluto in my game as a planet, and the results speak for themselves. By the end of the night, I had a solar system with 9 planets. You heard me correct, 9 planets, which includes Pluto. Saturday. This was gonna be a moving day where I needed to get a lot of stuff done, and oh boy, did I. I added orbital paths for the planets, drew some actual art for the asteroids, made the planets all orbit independently, shout out to Godot's animation player, added a little moon to the Earth because it's nice and cute, built an aiming system for the asteroid flinging mechanic, implemented a scoring system for delivering asteroids at a safe speed, created a spawning system for the asteroid belt, developed a timing system to count down the time remaining in the game, added a game over screen with a little bit of a play again button, and finally I added a menu tutorial screen where the player had to actually fling an asteroid at the correct speed to start the game, which ended up being a nice little feature to force them to prove they knew how to fling the asteroid at the right speed toward the planet before they could actually play the game. So that's a kind of a tip, I guess, to try that in your next game jam game. Use your menu as a tutorial. Could be kind of cool. Some people liked it. And one 10-hour stream later, I actually had a game, which was perfect because my plan for Sunday was to focus on polishing the game to make it look and feel a lot better to play. So I decided to wrap things up a little early, went and played with my cat Carl, relaxed with my partner and watched some Netflix, and then decided to get a nice long night of sleep. 6 hours remaining. And this is when the pressure really started to set in. And the very first thing I did was compiled my game for web and uploaded it to itch.io. This is a really important step because it proved my game actually worked on the platform that I was gonna release it to. One of the worst feelings is getting to the end of the jam, trying to scramble, shoving in all your last features, and then you go to upload it to your platform, and for whatever reason, the game doesn't work. So Do yourself a favor and try to upload it to the platform a little earlier than you would think. I typically do it at the beginning of the last day. But with that out of the way, I was able to dive into adding polish, like adding a red outline to the asteroids if it is moving too fast, a little key to show the planet's current health and points, some juicy screen shake, and some explosive particles. And I also did a bunch of bug fixing and balancing, and most notably, I made Pluto worth the most points to make up for all that lost time, and well, to say sorry for calling you a dwarf planet for all of those years. And just like that, I had 3 hours left in the jam, and so I had to finally go back to my scope creep list and officially cross off all of those things I wanted to add into my jam, but I really just didn't have the time to do. So instead, I moved on to my favorite part, and I made all of my sound effects with my own mouth. This was an absolute blast to do live on Twitch, and we actually came up with some really funny voice lines for the various planets when an asteroid arrives or when the planet actually explodes. But just like that, 48 hours were up, and I had submitted my game Asteroid Rush, a game I am saying is so good they're gonna have to make Pluto a planet again.
You rock, but I have some gas.
Wow. Thanks, but nobody actually lives here. Thanks for the asteroid. Maybe we can finally. Thanks for the asteroid. Maybe we can finally fix our climate.
Wow.
Thanks for the asteroid. Maybe we can finally fix our climate. What a ringer. I highly recommend you participate in some sort of game jam yourself. They are a fantastic way to learn new things, and just maybe you'll stumble upon an idea you'll end up making into a game. I've been Aramis. Thanks for watching.